All right, this is going to be a quick video on the front of the P16, everything you need to know. Let's start up in the left corner here. So if you want to store your mix or recall your mix, you do that here. So to store your mix, you would hold on store. So you're holding down on store and you have to actually press. It's easier with two hands. The channel that you want to store it in. So you can store it in any channel that you want. If it lights up, it means there's something already in there. So 2 is lit up. So I clicked 1 and then it's blinking, and then while you're still holding store, push it again and it saved it in 1. So to bring that up, we would do the same thing, only we hold down recall and press 1. And now we have loaded channel 1 saved mix back into the P16. Going over to the EQ, equalizer is the different frequencies that you can mix. This has bass, mid, and treble, and then like a frequency range. I would keep these pretty much straight up and down. For most of what you would need. There are some instruments that I would maybe adjust these a little bit, but you shouldn't need to mess with these too much. Straight up and down should give you a pretty good mix. Limiter. Now limiter can be kind of crazy. If you're noticing, just troubleshooting, if you're noticing like when the band's playing you can't hear anything, it might be a limiter setting. So you can try turning it up a lot and see if that helps, or turn it down a lot and see if that helps. See if you notice the difference, and then find that sweet spot on that. And then, because this is under the output section, so you have your limiter, that is the volume, how much it allows to or limits to come out, the output, and then you have the level, and this is the main volume level that is sending to your ears. So this is the last volume adjustment before it goes to your ears. And then when you're looking at this from the button standpoint here at the bottom, whatever you have selected, that's what you're adjusting here. So I have main selected, so we then have solo and mute. I can't think of an instance where I've never needed those, and I can't think of any reason why you would ever need to use those. So when I'm adjusting the main, I can pan, which is bringing the sound to my left ear or my right ear or in the middle. Your main, I would keep this in the center. I would not pan your main, like everything to one side or the other. And then you have your volume for the main channel, and then you have volume individually. If I click on 1, 2, 3, you can see the volume changes. That's changing for each of these channels. So each channel is programmed at the soundboard with something in it. So we usually do 1 is click, track, and then 2 and 3 are keys. And the reason I'll mention that, the reason there are 2 channels for the keys, you have mono, which is just 1 channel, and then stereo, which is right and left. And so the keys are actually one of the only instances where we have the keys going into the soundboard in a right and left separate channel. So you can mix it to fill out the room. It fills out the space. It sounds really good. So that's why it's coming in here in 2 separate channels. But just keep them the same, and you should be fine. And then I won't go through all the channels, but when we're talking about panning to the right or left, a good rule of thumb, you never really want, there's not a lot of instances where you want to pan all the way one side or the other and isolate it in one side. Usually you get a lot better mix, and it pulls like if I have acoustic and electric, then I would pan acoustic more to my left ear and maybe electric more to my right ear. And what that does is it separates out similar instruments or vocals, and lets you hear each better. So if I were singing, I might put all the other vocalists a little bit in maybe my left ear like that, and then I would put my vocals. I click on whatever one I am, and then I would put my vocals a little bit into my right ear. And what that does is that allow me to hear my voice separate from the other singers. And so that's where panning is helpful. But you don't want to, it's all a matter of preference, but it can be really, you can run into problems hearing things if you're panning things completely to the left or the right. So kind of watch that, and then always pay attention to your volume. So if you have another thing, if you're troubleshooting and you have your volume all the way maxed out and you still can't hear something, then the solution for that is to turn that down, adjust either your output here, turn that up a little bit, or come to your main and turn up that a little bit if you have some room to go. And then what you're going to do is you're going to turn everything else down slightly, and so that will give you room to move whatever you're wanting up if it's maxed out on the individual channel. One other thing that I'll mention is sometimes you have trouble with some of the inputs not getting a good signal. This alternate light is showing it's solid, and sometimes if it's cutting in and out where you're not able to hear well, look at this. If this light's blinking, that can be the issue. So we can plug into a different input on stage, or we can swap out the cords. It could be it's a connection issue somewhere if you see that. And okay, we're looking at the back of the P16 console. First up, if you're running an adapter for power, you would use that. We don't typically do that though. Next is the on-off switch. Make sure if you don't have anything lighting up on the front, then check to make sure that the power's on. The power for these and all the audio runs through the Ethernet cable. It will fit in the through cable. That's if you're linking several of these together, which we don't do. You'd have to share a mix if you did that. And so we run them through the in. So just make sure, again, if you're not getting any power, that your cord is plugged in all the way to the in on the alternate. Then we don't run these stereo left and right, or do anything with those. So your headphones plug into the back here. You need a 1/4 inch cable to plug those in. And then your headphones will plug into one of these cables. This is an 1/8 inch, so this is a 1/4 inch, and then it goes to an 1/8 inch, which is what most headphones use. So if that's the case, you would plug your headphones straight in to there. Some of our cables look like this. If that's the case, then you'll need one of these adapters. You plug, these are all backstage hanging on the wall. You would plug this adapter going from 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch, and then you can plug your headphones or in-ears into there. And that's most of the problems that you'll have with power or anything would be through there. Let's say you've just gotten done with Sunday morning and you're about to walk off stage. What you want to do is you don't have to shut off your P16 or anything. Really what you just want to do is look at your cables and get those organized, roll them up, and hang them on the side of your P16 so that they're organized and they're not getting stepped on or bunched up in knots. keep that nice and organized, and that'll save a lot of issues going forward. So when you're walking into rehearsal or Sunday morning, rehearsal's a little different. We want to be kind of closer and be able to collaborate as a team. So you're welcome to, if you need to move your P16 over, always grab it by the stand. These tops can sometimes get loose and fall off. You can move that around wherever is convenient for you. But Sunday morning, we want to move the P16 stools back as far as we can and create kind of a station where you can grab your stuff and make adjustments if needed, but that should be rare. But we want them back a ways out of the way. We don't want to be standing with the stands and stools kind of surrounding us. If I'm standing here, then it just looks awkward. So make sure to, for a clean look, keep your P16s, stands, stools, free of any papers, any coffee cups or anything, and back out of the way as far as we can get them. And then make sure you're standing out a few feet in front of them, just so it looks nice and it doesn't look like you're surrounded by stuff. Also, what that does, if you're standing out a ways, you can avoid tripping or standing on any of the cords that might be around. So be mindful of the cords, stepping on them. Eventually that will cause them to short out. Thanks, guys. I hope this has been helpful.